So my court case today is New Jersey versus TLO, and it is TLO because she was 14 years old at the time, so her real name was kind of withheld for privacy reasons. So the background, two high school freshmen in New Jersey were found smoking cigarettes in the bathroom by a teacher, and it was a non-smoking area on campus, so they're taking the principal for questioning and discipline. The assistant vice principal asked both girls what had been happening, and the first girl admitted to smoking in the bathroom with her friend, but TLO denied any accusations that she had been smoking, even though a teacher found them in the bathroom smoking. So the vice principal demanded to search TLO's purse, and at first she wouldn't let him, but she was forced to hand over her purse. And along with cigarettes, she discovered rolling papers in plain view, which made him continue the search in her purse. And so he ended up finding cigarettes, rolling papers, marijuana, a pipe, an empty plastic bag, large amounts of money in $1 bills, an index card listing students who owed her money, and 2 letters indicating she was dealing marijuana. So she was taken down to the police station by her mother, where she was convicted of use and dealing of illegal drugs, and so obviously she was then expelled from her high school and fined $100. So her court case, the constitutional issue is dealing with the Fourth Amendment, which protects from unreasonable search and seizure. And so she was arguing whether there was probable cause and if the search was actually reasonable. So the district court, she was tried in juvenile court. She claimed her Fourth Amendment rights were denied in the forced search, and she argued that her infraction was smoking in the wrong area rather than actually possession of cigarettes, so he didn't have a right to search her purse. They ruled that there was no violation of the Fourth Amendment, and despite her argument, the search was deemed warranted, and she was sentenced to 1 year of probation in the juvenile court. So it was then taken to the New Jersey Superior Court, where they agreed that there was no violation of the Fourth Amendment, but it was appealed on other grounds, and they ordered the suppression of the evidence in her purse since it was a forced search. The case was finally brought to the Supreme Court of the United States after it was appealed, and it was argued on March 18th, 1984, and this is a picture of the Supreme Court, like who was on the bench at the time. So the New Jersey argument was that the school officials act as guardians of the students and don't need warrants for the searches, and TLO's behavior gave reasonable cause to search her purse, and therefore the search was in right standing. And TLO argued that public school officials don't act as guardians because they're employees of the state, and because they're state employees, they have an obligation to respect all the students' rights in the Constitution. And so the decision was made on January 15th, 1985. The Supreme Court of the United States in a 6-3 ruling sided with New Jersey and ruled that students do maintain their Fourth Amendment rights on campus, with some exceptions, obviously. Students' rights are not the same as adults in schools, and they quote, "School officials have a responsibility to maintain the discipline necessary for education." So a search can be performed as long as they have reasonable cause rather than probable, so it gets kind of specific to each one. So a future case connection was Bethel School District versus Fraser in 1986, where the student delivered an explicit speech to the student body, and then the court ruled that he does in fact have free speech rights, but they're limited on school grounds. And another case connection was Tinker versus Des Moines, and it's the case where students wore the black armbands on school campus, and the school tried to ban them, but then the court eventually said it was okay. Obviously, students have expression, but to some point. So the case set up a precedent for many cases, obviously in the future, regarding students' rights on school grounds, and each case is case by case, but it was made clear in New Jersey versus TLO that students' rights are limited. So this relates to us as students, because in a private school we forfeit a good amount of our constitutional rights when we walk around campus, and for example, the schools can search our phones or our iPads without much reasonable suspicion, and these are my citations.
Okay.